The orgasm is nothing more than a drug like any other X out there. It's a part of what's called the X factor in life. I've been reading a lot of the comments that people have been wanting me to do episodes talking more about the occult aspect of sex. And I consider myself a reborn again virgin. So I'm just going to put that out there. However, in my past lives is what I call it. And in my sexual experiences, I went through various experiences of not experiencing orgasm, and it's still considered sex, and going through aspects of having an orgasm, whether, I'm saying, a certain type of way. When I say that, a certain type of way, meaning that, it depends on the partner you're with as to not just the intensity, but what you do with it after it. So that's what I mean by a certain type of way. But the bottom line is that I had various experiences on both levels before I got to, of course, where I'm at now. But that's not what this episode is even about. Is my rebirth. It's actually about the orgasm and how people that don't necessarily experiment with a lot of the other aspects of the X factor, which of course deals with, like I talked about before, certain herbs and drugs that you may would call drugs or whatever, medicinal, or whether it's non-medicinal, even drugs. You don't get into that aspect of the X factor. However, you may be into the orgasm. And it's just as much of a drug. It's a side effect, and it's not, what I'm going to point out is it's not necessarily a requirement for a sexual experience. And that's what people kind of wanted me to point out. Is the orgasm a requirement to for a person that was considering herself having sex? And I would have to say no. It's not a requirement. You don't have to have an orgasm, male or female, whether you want to call it other terms, you know what I'm talking about, to have a sexual experience. And we're not talking about just the joy aspect, but what I'm talking about is what sex is supposed to do on this planet. It's not a requirement. Learning how to control your lust is more important. And turning that lust into kundalini and taking you on a voyage. Lust is meant to take you somewhere. And we'll talk more about that in the future. Namaste.